What do you think would have happened if Eve had told Adam, "Hey, there's a snake telling me to eat the fruit"? One of my pet peeves is to arrive at Mass late because everybody notices. And especially when you have a big family like we do, you can't just sneak in. We have all our kids and they, make a little noise coming in. And, well, it's a little embarrassing. So one day, Greg and I were driving to Mass with our kids. And actually, Greg was driving. And he drives a little slower than I do. And that day he was driving particularly slow, and he was in the slow lane, and there were lots of cars, merging in, which made us even slower. And I knew that we were going to be at least 10 minutes late to Mass. And I was trying so hard to be a good wife. I was biting my tongue. I wanted to say, "Can you just get into the fast lane already?" But I didn't. I just bit my tongue. And I was telling God the whole time, "Lord, I'm trying to be a good wife. Please, please help me be a good wife. I don't want to say anything. He drives so slow, though. Can you just make him at least drive the speed limit?" But, I was really, really trying to not say anything and like I said, be a good wife. So when we finally got to Mass, which was 10 minutes late, I knelt down and I said to God, I said, "Lord, I don't know what to do here. Please help me out. We get to Mass late every week, and I don't know what to do anymore." And it dawned on me, tell him. Tell him. And I thought, oh, never thought of that. So, so when we got back home, Greg sat down on the bed, and I came in and I nervously, let him know, "Sweetie, it really bugs me when we get to Mass so late. Everybody notices, everyone, heads are turning, and I feel really horrible." And he just said, "Oh, that's easy. We'll just go to Mass early." And I was like, it's that easy. Why didn't I tell him before? I never thought of telling him. And and sure enough, ever since then, Greg had the kids in the car before I was even ready. It was like magic. I never again were we late to Mass. It was amazing. and it was that easy. I just had to tell him. Part of marital communication is deciding what to talk about. And revealing your temptations to your spouse can be difficult to do. So why do we do it? Why should we do it?
Well, one of Satan's standard ways of doing things is just to tempt us in private. It would be easier to fool, say, me especially like in a moment of weakness, but it would be a lot harder for him to fool both of us at the same time. So, as an example, consider somebody trying to seduce someone else's wife. The last thing he wants her to do is talk to her husband about it, right?
Good point. There are a lot of difficulties involved in telling a spouse your temptations. For example, you risk being embarrassed over those temptations. You risk revealing your weakness, right? Because I think temptations are often aimed at your weaknesses. Another big one that I know I've felt is you risk upsetting your spouse. For example, when we used to play MMOs, Greg and I were into, what was it called?
World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft. There was some random guy hitting on me. We couldn't see each other. No clue who the other person was, but, they were obviously hitting on me. And at the time, I was kind of enjoying it because I felt very, there was a long story. That's another post for future, but I felt very alone. And so at some point I did tell Greg, and I was risking upsetting him. But I told him, I said, there's a guy hitting on me in this game. And sure enough, he was very cool-headed about it, and we both agreed to step away from the game. It's one of those risks, several risks that you take. You're revealing a vulnerability. And so it's really important to take this the right way and to work together as a team.
We invite you to try to put this into practice. Make a agreement with each other that you will talk to each other about your temptations, and you will help each other out, right? Like we said, it's risky to show that side of yourself. So be considerate and have some compassion for your spouse coming to you with something like that, and work on it together.
You'll find that it's really worth it. You're communicating about something that really will bring you together, and you won't regret it. It's something that working together as a team really does cause you to be closer as a couple.
And we'll see you next time.